have combined Disney princesses with floral gardens or floral themes. If you would like to see how these Cinderella pages come together in my journal, please stick around. What's up everyone, this is Priya here. Welcome back to my channel if you're returning. And if this is the first time, thank you so much for stopping by. Here I share tips, ideas and inspiration to make your planner and journal spreads pretty and functional. I have a few sticker books from Live Love Posh pulled out, which I thought I could combine with these Disney themes I had in mind. And I have my B5 journal that I'm starting this month. And I'm also just making sure that I have enough of the boxes in here, and I will keep that chunky book, the Functionally Noir from Live Love Posh, just so that the journal can lay flat for me to work with. And this is where we start with May, and these are like the cover pages or the highlights of the month. And that video is up on my channel. And this is where we are as we start with the first few days of May. And if you are wondering what the Disney book is, this sticker book came out as like a 2.0 kind of version from Disney, and I had picked this up from Happy Planner. And my affiliate link with Happy Planner is in the description. I'm not sure if the sticker book is still in stock. And I also have these set of hydrangeas, which look perfect with Cinderella. And these are from Live Love Posh. And the B5 journal is from Archer and Olive, just like most of the other journals are. So I decided to do vertical Dutch doors, but slightly different. You will see what I mean, because I want to have decorations all along the outer edges of the pages, and I would also like to get some Dutch doors. And I'm pulling out my washi tapes from Live Love Posh, and I think I will take a couple of the black and white ones from the black and white washi set, and maybe a couple from the pastel washi set, all from Live Love Posh. And my code Priya10 can earn you 10% off at Live Love Posh, Archer and Olive, the washi tape shop, and a few other shops. I'll have all that information linked for you. So I'm just cutting off a few less sticky parts of the washi tapes because it is a couple of years old and it was starting to lift, so I had to trim off that starting portions just because it was starting to kind of lose its stickiness, if you know what I mean. And if you are somebody who uses washi tapes, you must be aware that after a few years of just sitting there on the shelves or in the cupboard, wherever it is, it does tend to lose its stickiness. So you might want to actually start using it quickly or just discard them and start a fresh new stock altogether or inventory. It just helps. Or the other option would be to use some sticky tape or just use a glue tape, a two-sided tape, something of that sort, or just a tape runner if that's easy for you. Just that should do the trick of keeping them down. And you see how I'm counting the number of dots and then trimming off the top part of the page. So this is kind of like cutting off the pages from either side, and you will end up with a portion in the middle which can be used for journaling. And that is a starting point. That's all there is. So I will be doing multiple pages in here before we decide to go ahead with the decorative parts, because this is what determines the actual length or the actual dimension of the page, where I can have that trimmed off, and then the rest of the area will be for decoration. So I'm using my scissors here, the bigger of the scissors. And if you notice, I have my paper trimmer, the scissors, the big and the small, the self-healing cutting mat, the paper clip. A lot of the stationery, a lot of the products that I use are from Journal C, and my code Priya can earn you 8% off at Journal C. And you can see how I'm repeating this process, and you will see how it all ends up. And let me know if you can cut the page straight like so, or do you have to tilt it like what I normally end up doing. So I'm using the smaller scissors here to take off just the part that is coming off that upper part of that stitch that is right there along the spine. And I like to just keep it as intact when it comes to the sewing on the spine. So if you notice, there are portions of the pages that are sewn together, which then combine to form the big journal. That's how the integrity or the whole tightness of the spine or the entire journal is usually, that's how it usually is done. So I'm keeping it to not cutting into those stitches, which would mean your journal would just fall apart on you. And that's not exactly what you want, right? I just started with this journal and it's a gorgeous journal, so I would be devastated. Yeah, you might think it's an exaggeration, but we all tend to be devastated when it comes to damages on our planners or journals, because we love our stationery. So this is the last of the pages. And I'm being careful not to damage the spine. So I'm just leaving a bit of the paper intact there. And you might think it looks odd, but you will see how I'm going to fix that. Because, I don't want to cut too close to the spine and then damage the whole journal as such. And if you would like to see such creative ideas for your planners and journals, please make sure you are subscribed to my channel and you turn on the bell notification as well, so that you can be sure you do not miss out on any of the fun projects coming. So this is my simple little way of making sure the spine is nice and secure. So I'm going to do the same thing on the top part as well. And you see how handy those tweezers are? Just pulling that closer. Yeah, I think that's better. Just making sure that it is sitting snug against the spine, and that washi cutter is usually the best tool I can recommend for that purpose. So you see how the spine is now secure and you have the space for function and decoration all sorted. And now let's get started with our hydrangeas. So let me know what your first go-to combination would be when it comes to combining Disney princesses and flowers or floral themes. Well, I'm just trying to understand, because Yeah, that's a nice, simple flower bunch coming off the edge of that page. And I may even end up moving some of the stickers around, but I think that's a good way of doing it. Nope, I think there is some white space on the right part of the sticker. And if you would like to see behind the scenes on my content, or you would like to have a voice on my channel, say you get to pick what themes I do, and you get to help me decide on what sticker books to go with, then you might want to consider being a member on my channel. So it's similar to Patreon, but it's here on YouTube. So it is always a nice bunch of supportive folks. And I really appreciate every one of you who continues to support me. And let's now bring in the princess. And I think I don't want to just have her gown cut off, so I might have to reposition some of the florals because I don't want her to be standing there at a weird angle. So the hydrangeas, sorry, you guys will have to move. And here goes our Cinderella, and I want her shoes to be visible and I want her face to be visible. I think that's a good spot. And we can always have the flowers anywhere else. And I'm going to just make sure I don't cover up the glass slippers or the glass shoes. And you have just a couple of sheets or sticker sheets rather with the theme. And I was not ready to bring in the prince here just yet. So I'm going to stick to Cinderella and the fairy godmother, and maybe it was just until the ball happened. And let me know if you have picked up your journal for the mid-year, and if you pick a journal for your use, what size do you like to use, or which size is your favorite? Because lots of people prefer the A5, which is one of the more popular sizes. But then I think the B6 is also gaining popularity. So I would like to hear from you what your favorite size is and what your favorite color of the cover would be. And did you see the sneaks of the summer release from Arch and Olive? It is coming pretty soon. I'll have all those details in the description for you. And the sneak peeks are just pouring in. They release one preview or one sneak peek daily. So some of the designs are absolutely gorgeous. And I will have some sneaks in the post section of YouTube if you would like to check that out. And when I'm doing the voiceover, I've only been able to see just the first design, which is a literary frog, and it's gorgeous. And I'm sure more designs which are coming are all stunning. And there were some acrylographs that got released a few weeks back. And if you have not checked out those, I think it is a good collection for anybody who is looking for certain color groups and certain pens in various thickness. It comes in a whole bunch of colorways. So it is a great way of having multiple size tips in each colorway. So it is very interesting as to see what they are coming up with. And if some shops have not gotten to their summer releases yet, I think they're all coming. And I know Planything just dropped their summer latest subscription boxes, and it's so fun. Lots of useful summary goodness in those sticker books, and some of the scrapbook paper is also really pretty. And guess what? Live Love Posh will also be coming out with another release very soon. So I'll have all that information that I can get hold of in the description for you. And I will also give you the exact times and the dates so that you can set your alarms, because a lot of the items do get sold out. So restocks may not happen for some time because of all the shipping times and issues worldwide, with all the different uncertainties happening across the globe. So you might actually want to set your alarms, and I will have all the necessary information available for you. The Washi Tape Shop just had another one of their big releases. So it's a whole bunch of amazing products, and I'm not mentioning all this to remind you that you need to buy everything. Nope, that is not what I meant, and I'm not here as an enabler. I would like to point out that you need to check out all the options and buy only the things that you truly believe you will use, because otherwise it would be just sitting there on your cupboard, just taking up space. And if you do not touch it, then what's the point? So just don't rush it. Just check out all the options. Be double sure that you will use it until you hit that buy button. Okay. So all of this is meant for information. You need to check out all the options, go through them carefully, and then make a decision, an informed decision. And you don't have to buy everything. That's a very valid, a very useful unsaid rule in the stationery world, because there are lots of releases happening any time of the year. And Happy Planner will be having their academic launch. Laurel Denise is having their academic launch all in May. So I'll have all the information in the description for you. And if you would like to see how I use my planners, which is two different planners this year. There is a Laurel Denise planner, the Nancy or the horizontal, and the Arch and Olive dot grid planner. So that is, again, it is two different types of planners that I've used this year. And just check out the options if you're looking for functional planners. Laurel Denise is a great option, and they even have a new layout coming, which I think is going to be even more of a big hit, and it will be just flying off the shelves. And you can see me use some of those scraps going off the page, which I cut and used to fill some of the white space along the edge. So that's kind of roughly where our decorations will be. And I think I will start with this black and white washi just at the top of the Dutch door. And I think I'll stop right near Cinderella, and I do not want that to be visible from the front. So I'm just going to trim that off right there. And I'm using my Fiskars ceramic knife and just doing the same thing at the bottom as well. Just making sure I have a straight edge to start the washi tape with. And this is the very last page. So we will do some washi tape decoration with the pages, and I'm just trimming that off right there as well. And I've linked all the products that I'm using, that I love to use, just in case you're curious. And I also normally end up using some of the favorite paper cutting tools like the gyro cut that I normally use, but I don't this time. So that is also linked below if you are curious. And I have lots of setups where I use the gyro cut, and here I am using the corner rounder just so that it does not have a sharp edge, none of the smaller pages. And I'm going to use the soft pastel pink and pastel blue washi tapes along with the black and white washi set to make sure I have some decoration along the inner pages as well. I think I had some weird cut there, so I'm going with my scissors to trim that extra bit. And you can see how I'm using the big and the smaller scissors interchangeably depending on what the space availability is. And I did not want it to be entirely just the pinks and blues, so that's why I have a pop of black in there. And on to the next page, and I will be measuring the space that will be visible if I had not cut it. So that'll give me like a small waterfall tabs kind of situation. And I just did a proper tutorial on a very basic waterfall tabs setup, and they are the easiest Dutch doors you can do. So I will link that video as well. So this is on to the second page, and I'm not sure if I want the washi tapes merely there. And I think I will go ahead and use some floral decorations for the side, and then maybe we'll have some interesting elements or some decorations even from the Disney sticker books just there in the middle Dutch door. And there will be some additional decorations that will go just so that it will not be entirely washi tapes, but something with a bit more of a pop of color and elements just along this page. So you can see how such big clusters can be used, even if it is a small part of the cluster. So that is the next one. And this is going to be a very different kind of Dutch door. Let me know how you like this, if you have done something similar. And let me know how you are enjoying the process. Is it too fast enough? Not fast enough? Is it too fast for you to follow along? Or is it too slow that it is kind of looking more like I'm slacking off? Because I'm not speeding it up a whole lot. So you might feel it is more actual thinking process, an actual time I take in real time to decide on the elements I go for each Dutch door. So now that the second Dutch door is done, let's trim off the page, the last Dutch door in the front, to make sure that we have that for the washi tapes. And I will be sure to, yeah, I think maybe a bit more, maybe one dot grid spacing more needed there, just so that at least a bit more of those birds can be visible. Yeah. And maybe I should have waited until I got even the washi tapes down to do the corner rounding, because now it is more like double the work. And let's go with the pastel blue for here. And I think this is going to be such a different one. And let me know if you would like me to try something specific when it comes to Dutch doors. And I had gotten lots of comments with very specific instructions on, or specific questions rather, on Dutch doors and how the different themes and how the different sizes might work. So I have a running list of the items I would like to try here, or the techniques I would try here. So let me know if there is anything additional that you would like me to try here for you. It could be something really cool, or it may not be something that's as good as you had imagined it to be. Just let me know in the comments and I can try and work it out. And we have pretty much that framework all done. And let's now see what the additional decorations are needed for the inside pages. So I think we'll start here. And when I last checked, all of these washi tapes and the sticker books are all available to pick up. So I'm going with the next washi tape and the next color to kind of make sure that we have all the edges at least covered. And I'm going with this last page and the soft blue washi tape. And this is where the small scissors are very handy. And I think the corner rounding would make more sense and it would make things a lot easier had I done that at the stage. So let me know if you do round your corners or just leave them as is. If they are straight edges, just the way they are, do you do that, or do you just not bother too much about it? Whatever happens, leave it just the way it is. But sometimes I feel it looks a bit more finished or put together just by rounding that corner. It does give that softer touch to the edge. And I think that middle Dutch door is good enough now, with a few additional items thrown in there. And let's see, let's bring in a couple of quotes now. And most of the quote is visible, but a bit of it can be covered up using the pages. And we will also have some filler elements to use. And let's see. Let's move them a bit more Yeah. And if you notice, I'm combining the paper stickers with clear stickers. The hydrangeas are all on clear and the Disney ones are all on paper. But I think that's not a problem for me personally. But I know a lot of people freak out when it is a mix of paper and clear stickers. And it is definitely a different look altogether, especially when you look at it up close. When you are looking at the video, might not look that different, but when you look at it in person, yes, it does make a lot of difference. And some of the paper stickers really have different fonts and their offsets are too wide. So in such cases, it's really different how it actually looks on paper. And that is the next step, which is adding boxes and clusters. So if you are ever wondering on how to get started with Dutch doors, I have a video where I share some of my tried and tested pro tips on how you can do so. And once you have gotten comfortable with the techniques I talk about, then you can take off from there. And you will be a pro at using the gyro cut as well, because I have a tutorial on how you can get started. And then before you know, with some little practice, whatever you can, just keep practicing. It may not look the prettiest in the beginning, but with a little bit of practice, you will be a master of Dutch doors. And let me know if you combine clusters or boxes or just leave the decorations as is, or if you don't do decorations at all. Is it just pen and paper when it comes to journaling? We're all different, and I think you should do what you love best. And these are the next set of clusters. And I'm combining some of the florals, or at least some of the elements from this collection, with some of the princess elements. And I love when that just brings about a different touch when it comes to the pages. And I love when you can pick and choose elements from more than one collection, I should say. And please come follow me on Instagram. I do share more spreads and more sneaks, even if they don't quite get YouTube videos. And I will have all the details of the elements or the sticker books or the products I used in the description for you. And you should be able to go straight to the products. And I will definitely have the videos linked so that you can also check out the other fun elements I have done. And it is just spring, and we have lots of fun content coming. And let me know if you have watched any of my collaboration videos with any of the other content creators rather, in this world, in this virtual world of ours. And if there's anybody specific you would like to see me collab with, let me know in the comments. And going back with some more boxes. And if you notice, I do come and add a couple more extra boxes once I was done. But in the final flip through, you will see how that looks. And not every page needs a box or a cluster, but I like to. But I can always come back and add boxes with my liners if I think that's necessary. So that is not a problem at all, even if you skip adding boxes. And I love to bring in just the butterflies in some portions, and I can always throw them in even in other spreads. Not a big deal, right? And if you like what you saw today and would love to see more from me, please take a moment to subscribe to my channel and turn on the bell notification so that you do not miss out on any of that. Thank you so much for watching. I will catch you in the next one. Bye.